Hi and welcome to LbT-languages. I'm very happy to be able to say hello to Christine Hohlbaum, the author of The Power of Slow, 100 Ways to Save Time in Our 24/7 World. Hi Christine.
Hi Barbara.
So, why did you start writing this book? And what is it that you especially love about your book?
Well, why I wrote my book, The Power of Slow, is that I discovered that slow is actually faster and fast is merely exhausting. I was a corporate American person racing through the world, and then I became a stay-at-home mom. And when I had children, I realized that their pace of life is slightly different than a corporate race career woman. And so I had an epiphany one time at an ice cream parlor with my then three-year-old daughter, and realized she was taking a really long time to decide what flavor she wanted. And I was like, trying to push her through this process, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm denying my 3-year-old of a childhood dream of just savoring the moment in an ice cream parlor. So I decided to really slow down with her and walk at her pace and enjoy the ice cream with her and walk slowly to the car and drive the speed limit home. And that was the birth of The Power of Slow. Now it took, I would admit, 7 years before I really formalized the concept. But that was the beginning, and that was the reason why I wrote the book, to allow other people to realize there is another pace of life that you can have, and you can still be equally productive.
Oh, thank you. And well, looking at your bio, you do a lot. Do you actually walk your talk?
I do. As a matter of fact, when people ask me that question, I will say to them, it's because of the power of slow and the principles that are in the book that I actually can do what I do. So the power of slow is really about mindful living. It's about taking a moment to step back and look at the big picture and to only engage in those activities that fulfill your ultimate purpose.
Okay. Well, we've got a lot of people watching this little clip here, so do you have a top tip for our audience here?
I would. I spoke with Marianne Williamson recently. She's a best-selling author and quite a wonderful person. And one thing that she said that I think I've also taken on too as a power of slow principle is how you start your morning really informs how the rest of your day is going to be. So my tip to people is, look at how you start your morning. Do you fall out of bed and check your BlackBerry right away? Or do you actually take time to stretch and really think about the things that you want to get done during the day? And do you have your priorities in your mind, or do you just sort of react to the things that are happening? So look at how you spend your day, and look at how you start your day actually. And perhaps start with a meditation or just with a positive affirmation. For example, I start my mornings by saying, I embrace this day and all the things that it shall bring, and so it is. Okay. And it's a fabulous way to start.
Great. I know that one of your favorite topics is multitasking. Is it really such a myth?
It is a myth. Multitasking is not possible. And I think a lot of people say, well, women can multitask and men can't multitask. The truth is that multitasking would require that you do 2 or more simultaneously difficult things at one time. And the brain is actually not wired to do that. Now, women are able to task switch more readily than men. Typically, they're able to go from one thing to the next. But the truth is, when we try to multitask or do 2 or more things at once, texting while driving as an example, it's not a good idea because we're only really concentrating on one thing at a time. So indeed, multitasking, according to neuroscience research and my own research, is that it is a myth.
Okay. Now, birthday's coming up, Christmas is coming up, Easter's coming up. Why would you say your book is a perfect gift?
Because the power of slow is truly the gift of time. So if you were to read this book, you would realize where you're spending your time, and you would actually start to rethink it and look at the activities that you do in your day and help you reevaluate and only do those things that are fulfilling your ultimate goal in life, whatever that thing is. And so the power of slow is about taking a moment to step back and look at those things and look at the big picture.
What's your favorite chapter in the book?
I think my favorite chapter really is the myth of multitasking, because that's how the book got started. I realized I was a chronic multitasker, and the truth is that it's not possible, and it actually leads to much more distraction and much more reactive activity than being in the driver's seat of your life.
So at the end of the day, you're saying if you slow down, you're going to be able to do a lot more, reach a lot more than if you'd done 20 million things at the same time.
The truth is, less is more.
Well, thank you very much, Christine, for joining us here.
Thank you.